Hello students, this is question number 12 from homework number 11. This is going to help you to find the margin of error for the topic of estimating the population proportion. So the question says if n is equal to 150 and p hat is equal to 0.33, find the margin of error at a 95% confidence level. To find the margin of error, we know that the formula for the margin of error is given by the following. The margin of error is equal to z sub alpha divided by 2, the critical value, times the square root of p hat times 1 minus p hat divided by the sample size. Of course, the square root includes the sample size as well. So now let's come up with the numbers from the question and then answer that. First, we need to compute z sub alpha divided by 2. To find that, we need alpha divided by 2, and to find alpha divided by 2, we need alpha. We come up with alpha from the level of confidence. From the question, the level of confidence is 95%. That means alpha is 5% or 0.05. That means alpha divided by 2, it's going to be 0.025. P hat is given from the question, 0.33, and n is given 150. Now, how do we compute the z sub alpha divided by 2? Let me actually draw the region so we can compute that. We know that the proportion is normally distributed, so we are going to follow the normal distribution. And here's the curve for the normal distribution. And we're trying to find z sub alpha divided by 2. In this case, we're going to find the negative value. The positive value is going to be here. You can find the positive value right away, but I'm going to use the symmetrical property and I'm going to find the negative value, and then all I have to do is just to remove the negative when I want to find z sub alpha divided by 2. So the region here in the tail is alpha divided by 2, and I found alpha divided by 2 to be 0.025. So to find this number, I know the area to the left of that number, so I'm going to compute that number, and then z sub alpha divided by 2 will be the same as this number except for the positive number, not the negative one. I'm going to use the function norm.s because I'm talking about z values here. That means I'm talking about the standard normal distribution. And then I will use the inverse function because I have the area and I want the number. So I will use norm.s.inverse of 0.025, which is the area to the left of the number needed. And as you notice, the number is negative. So all I have to do here is to multiply it with -1 to find z sub alpha divided by 2. Finally, I'm going to compute the margin of error. So the margin of error is equal to, I'm going to type it as I see it. So I see z sub alpha divided by 2. I'm going to click on the cell that has z sub alpha divided by 2 times, and then square root of p sub hat, there is p sub hat, times 1 minus p sub hat. So I'm going to click again on p sub hat, divided by the sample size, which is 150, or I can click on the cell that has it. And then you can click enter. And that is the margin of error value. Now let me use the numbers instead of clicking on cells. Maybe that is a little bit confusing for some of you, so let me calculate it differently with numbers. So this is equal to z sub alpha divided by 2 is 1.959964 times the square root sqrt of p hat 0.33 times 1 minus p hat 0.33 divided by n 150, and then close parentheses and click enter. Essentially, I will have the same number, so I'm going to click on one of them and go and paste it to the answer box and check whether my answer is correct or not. And the answer is correct. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you in a different one.